I'm Mallory Moss Rustin with BabyNames TV, and I'm interviewing Debbie Martinez and her baby right here. Oh, I can feel your belly button. Okay. Do you find that actually people touch your belly like complete strangers?
No. Complete strangers don't touch my belly. They stare at my belly.
They stare at your belly.
Yeah.
What do you think they're thinking?
I don't know. I always wonder that because some people actually are very riveted towards my belly, and I don't know. And people strike up conversations quite a bit. People I don't know.
Okay.
Which is really interesting and kind of nice because you meet people that way.
So the typical, when are you due?
Yeah,
and that kind of
exactly.
stuff.
Like, when are you due? Do you know what you're having? Those are the two main questions. And then they like to share their own stories too.
Oh, okay. So complete strangers come up to you and tell you about their childbirth?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, actually, maybe not always that detailed.
Okay.
They'll tell me, about their kids or whether or not they found out what they were having as well.
And when are you due?
May 20th.
May 20th.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And do you know if you're having a boy or a girl? I'm going to be one of those supermarket people now.
No, we decided we'd let it be a surprise.
Oh, okay.
My daughter was also a surprise as well.
Okay.
It was fun.
So, what's your daughter's name?
Her name is Marisa.
Marisa. Is that right?
Yes, Marisa Sol.
How do you spell Sol?
S-O-L.
Okay.
Yeah, which means sun.
Sun. Okay. And then, do you know what Marisa means?
Well, we actually didn't pick Marisa because we knew what it meant, but interestingly enough, we actually, I've always liked the name because I had a schoolmate whose name was, we called her Marisa, but the reason, I've always liked that name, and then I just thought it was a really good name for us to pick because my husband and I got engaged in California near the ocean, and so Mar, means, well, actually, I should know this, but is sea or ocean,
Okay.
So anyway, so basically we just thought that would add a little bit more significance to the name as well. So that's why we picked that. And then Sol, just because, we like that name as well, and it means sun, and we just thought that, this is a really bright and important moment in our lives, and we just thought it was appropriate.
Well, that sounds great. So, and also it's alliterative name, Marisa Martinez, right? Or
Yes.
Marisa. Is
Right.
that right? Okay, got to
Yes.
work on my R's there. Okay. And so now your baby that is on the way, since you don't know if it's a boy or a girl, then have you picked out names for both?
Well, we've picked out a girl name. We're pretty much set on Ana Maria.
Ana Maria. And how did you pick on that?
My husband, I think, just heard it somewhere, and he liked it, and we actually like to stick with Hispanic names. And so we both liked it, and so we tend to agree on names fairly easily, actually. So there's never really been, a situation where I really wanted a name and he absolutely hated it or anything. So that's kind of been nice. That's made it easier. For some reason, we struggle with boy names.
What are some of the names that are popping up?
Well, in terms of Spanish boy names, Santiago. We used to like Diego, but my sister-in-law named her son that. So that's kind of out
The sister-in-law preempt.
Yeah. Okay. So we can't really consider that one. So that's really primarily the Hispanic name we like so far. But I also want to name, if it's a boy, after my husband, and his name is Alex.
Alex.
Now we could, give him the Spanish, version of that name, which is Alejandro. But we haven't quite decided yet, so we're still kind of thinking about that.
Okay. But your husband's actually Alex, but not Alejandro, right?
No, although his first name is Rene, which
like
is R-E-N-E.
Oh, okay.
So he just have a Spanish first name.
Okay.
But he decided, I think, in school not to go with that name because that's the thing about, it could go either way actually, but obviously with that particular name, people would say Renee, which sounds like a girl's name.
Yeah.
So he decided he didn't want that. So he decided just to go with Alex.
Okay. Well, that's actually a really interesting name, Renee. How do I pronounce it?
Rene.
Rene? Okay. Something like that.
Yes,
kind of put a Russian flair on
there you
that.
go.
But the interesting thing about that, of course, is that it's also traditionally French name for men. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that.
There you go. All right. It's actually one of the most popular, like John or Richard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right up there in French names. Now, tell me when, if we can just kind of branch out a little bit or go a little bit wider as far as, you're a Spanish translator, is that right?
Well,
Part of your job?
I do some translation, but my primary role is to actually review review the translations that come back from our sister company in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So I just review them, make sure they're accurate and complete.
Okay, well then you're gonna just have to be our Spanish expert right now for the moment.
That's fine. I mean, because I do know Spanish. And,
Okay.
I can translate some, and if we do need some in-house translation, I'll do that.
So what are your more popular Spanish names that you encounter that you think of are more traditional or more common?
I think Diego is one. I think Juan's very common. Jesus is very common. And those are some of the ones that come to my mind right now. And I think it's interesting actually that typically it seems like in terms of my Hispanic friends and my family, they actually don't typically choose Hispanic names.
Really? Why do you think that is? For assimilation?
I think so. I really, really do. I think that just looking at it from within my own family, none of my nephews have a Hispanic name.
What are some of their names?
Well, we have like Joshua. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. One nephew does have a Spanish name, and that's because he was named after his father, which is Elizardo, which is actually not common.
And that's Elizardo, is that right? In a very bad American version? Okay.
Yeah, and it's not common, so, but he shortens it to Lee.
Well,
So he won't even use the name,
That's right.
And of course, his dad doesn't use the name either. His dad goes by Lee as well.
Oh, really? Okay, so it is kind of Americanizing the Mexican or Hispanic names.
Yeah, so in some ways, actually, I think my husband and I are somewhat unique in that we want to go back to that. We want to have our children to have either one of their names or both of their names to be Hispanic.
And is that kind of to maintain tradition?
Yes, yeah, and I think one of the things we've tried to maintain tradition, one of the things we've tried to do to maintain tradition is to also try to teach our daughter Spanish.
Oh,
a lot of my nieces and nephews actually don't know Spanish. So not only have they not received Spanish names, but they also have not really learned Spanish. And so we just feel like it's important to us and it's something that we want to maintain.
Well, Debbie, best interview of the day. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we're signing off for BabyNames TV.